Hi, my name is Za'Nyah, and today I'll be presenting to you my research on the bipolar disorder type dopamine. What is dopamine? Dopamine can be classified as a type of neurotransmitter. Your nervous system uses it to send messages between nerve cells, and your body makes it. Here I have a picture that I drew that shows the synaptic vesicle and the dopamine particles. The next slide I'll talk about are the dopamine receptors. There are 5 types of dopamine receptors. They have D1, D2, D3, D4, and D5. D1 receptors handle memory, attention, impulse control, regulation of renal function, and locomotion. D2 receptors handle locomotion, attention, sleep, memory, and learning. D3 and D4 receptors both handle cognition, impulse control, attention, and sleep, while D5 receptors handle decision making, cognition, attention, and renin secretion. When you release dopamine, which is a neurotransmitter, into the presynaptic neuron, it signals the postsynaptic neuron where the D2 receptor blocks off signaling by inhabiting adenylate cislase. Here we will talk about receptors and G proteins. D1 and D5 receptors are coupled to G stimulatory sites and activate adenylate cislase. D2 through D4 receptors are coupled to G inhibitory sites, which inhibit adenylate cislase and activate K plus channels or potassium plus channels. G proteins are a part of dopamine. The G protein found in dopamine is called G-gas protein coupled. Dopamine binds to D1 and D5 gas-coupled receptors, and when this happens, enzymes adenylate cislase is activated and the secondary messenger cAMP is produced. Dopamine holds 3 scaffolding proteins called Homer, Shank, and PSD95. Dopamine glutamate aberrations can cause psychotic disorder if the scaffolding proteins that belong to the complex calcium 2 plus integrate and converge. When it comes to protein kinases, it has been proposed that the activation of protein kinase A D2 dopamine receptors blocks have been interceded. Recent studies over the last decade has shown that through the cAMP even though the cAMP is the primary signaling messenger through the dopamine receptors, drugs are still the main source of activation for D1 receptors that use APDs for cognitive and negative symptoms. In conclusion, you may only terminate dopamine in 2 ways. One way being to retake dopamine by the dopamine transporter into the presynaptic membrane, or by enzymatic breakdowns of dopamine by catalytic or methyl transferring to monoamine oxidase. I hope you all enjoyed this presentation about the bipolar disorder dopamine. Down below will be some sources I've used to find all of my information.